Next, the Congress of the People, better known as COPE, will be having their first National Congress in the East Rand this coming weekend. This National Congress will not only be addressing the constitutional amendments, policies, the party manifesto will also be coming up. This Congress will also be electing a new leadership that will be leading the party towards the national and provincial elections. For more on this, we're joined in studio by Lindell Shope-Mafole. And it's so ironic because I was practicing your name and making sure that I wouldn't butcher it. She's the party's acting general secretary, but you're very, very polite, so I know you wouldn't correct me. Thank you so much for joining us again, Lindell.
Thanks a lot.
Let's talk about the last 5 years. There was this excitement over COPE, so much energy coming forward, but there have been a lot of hurdles along the way. It has not been a smooth ride. In fact, as soon as today as well, we're also seeing some more hiccups in terms of legal proceedings. How have the past 5 years been?
Well, thank you very much. Let me start off by saying that as the Congress of the People, we're absolutely thrilled that today we'll be starting our first National Congress since we were inaugurated in 2008. And we are starting it under the theme restoring South Africa's hope in COPE with determination, with confidence, and with integrity. And the reason we are doing this is because precisely for the reason that you are saying, when COPE came about, everybody was very excited. We believe that after this Congress, everybody is going to be excited because people are going to be able to see that in spite of all the challenges that we had, legal and otherwise, we have been able to put together our structures. As you know, we've had our seven provincial congresses. Now all our provinces have gone to Congress. But just in one weekend, we did 7 provincial congresses and the chapter congresses, the youth and the women, and did very well. And new leadership was elected. Nobody heard about any chairs thrown around, which has been things that you've had before when we've been to Congress. It has been a challenge, but I think, to be frank to you, that only confirms that what we believe as a Congress of People, whereas other parties believe differently probably about themselves, that we are considered in reality to be the party that can change the political landscape in South Africa.
You don't
because
think
of our composition, because of our history, etc.
You don't think that the damage has been done, and perhaps the proceedings that you speak of that are currently or should be underway this week even, or if not next week, between Mbazima and Musiwa Lekota, that they could throw a spanner in the works even further? You don't think that?
Well, we've been to court so many times. We have won every time. I mean, for the past, 2-3 years, we've been going to court. We've been winning every time. And every time, the courts have been confirming that this is the legitimate Congress of the People, led by President Musiwa Lekota. We're confident that even today, we are going to win. I mean, they've been trying to interdict. We're supposed to go to Congress some time back. Last year, we were ready to go to Congress. About 2 weeks before we went to Congress in October, we were interdicted. And they said until, the case in the South Gauteng High Court had been completed, the case got completed. Judge Wat Pringle confirmed again, over and over again, that this is the legitimate Congress of the People. So we're going to Congress. They interdicted us, I think it was yesterday, and the judge will be giving her ruling this morning.
Approaching the elections, a lot of new parties in the fall coming up. We have the likes of Bahang, the EFF. You don't think that they will perhaps put a dent on the smaller opposition parties as opposed to putting a huge dent on the ANC? Are you afraid?
No, we're not afraid. We're absolutely thrilled that more South Africans see what we saw in 2008, that our country is going down the wrong route, and that something needed to be done. So we are happy that more South Africans have decided to do something about what is going on, rather than sitting back and lamenting and saying maybe we'll change from within. Obviously, so this is a democracy, so people will go to different parties. But I think more than a dent in the ruling party, there are millions and millions of South Africans who don't register to vote, who don't vote. That is where our target is. South Africans who have just been sitting back and not and not registering to vote and not voting. Some are registered and they're not voting. So we are saying to every South African, you have a responsibility to future, to go and do what President Nelson Mandela did in his time, had to serve jail. All you have to do is to use your mind and go and make a mark. That's all that we're asking of South Africa.
Hence your collaboration with various other political parties in the form of that cooperation.
Yes, absolutely. Well, there's been lots of talk in South Africa about how this doesn't make, a big dent and so on. But if you look globally, even the UK today is a coalition government. So what we have decided with different political parties, that there are certain things, there are 20 things that we agree on. There are things that South Africa views as a priority. Health, education, you're just talking to MEC and so on. If you looked at the manifestos of almost all the parties, almost all of us are saying the same thing. So we're saying that let us cooperate together, and then after the elections, before the elections, everybody will be voting for the party of their choice. And then after the elections, hopefully we will be in the majority as the different parties that are not in power just now, then we'll be able to form a government.
Okay, we'll have to leave it there. We're seriously pressed for time. I did want to find out more information about your national congress that's happening. You'll have to give us the details. Off air, I do understand it's happening in the East Rand. Lyndall, let's leave it there for now. My thanks again to you for joining us. And that's where we leave it now. COPE having their national congress. They had their youth as well as provincial congresses this past weekend. Smooth sailing is how Lyndall put it. Lyndall, I should say, correcting myself. Let's leave it there.